You want to try signing on now, just for the hell of it?
No, I mean, I'm not worried about signing on Zoom. I'm confident I know how to sign on Zoom.
Okay, all right, got it then.
What was I going to ask? I was thinking about something else.
Okay.
Try to remember. I'll try to remember.
Oh, Brad's coming on. Yeah, why don't you jump on?
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Mr. Sokoler, sir, how are you?
Brad, how you doing, buddy? Let me make sure I got
Bad. Why
set
am I
in.
not getting sound where I want it?
Let's see, road. There we go. 1, 2. There we are.
Yeah, and I think mine made the switch too. So.
Yeah. How's life? Everything okay?
Yeah, not bad. I got an inspector who's sick.
Uh-oh.
So
what does that mean?
He's just got a stomach bug, and it's amazing what happens when one person is not available.
I know throws the whole schedule into
ramble, man. We've got everything covered, but that kept me running all day today, covering other stuff that Neil couldn't get to. So that's all right.
Hey, just FYI, one of the questions we're going to have is from Carter. He's a seller, had a septic inspection, more than 20,000 worth of repairs.
Oof.
Called the second inspector, and we're waiting to hear what the status is, but the suspicion was that the first inspector was not. He does repairs, inspections and repairs, and he apparently has a history. This is Frank. Forgot the first name. Anyway, I want to. What do you do? First of all, we want to talk about from an inspection standpoint. Don't hire an inspector who also does repairs.
Correct. Yeah, you need disinterested third party.
Except with inspectors, septic, they do the inspection and they do repairs, right?
Yes, they do. And so the point there is get a second opinion.
Which is what this guy's doing. Yeah,
we see that a lot. It's foundation repairs. You'll have a company go in and go, oh, this is a $35,000 job. The next guy goes in behind him and goes, it's $4,000.
Yeah.
This is easy fix. Or we had a situation that the seller was being told that they needed 8 helical piers put in, and another foundation company said we can stabilize it with 1. They went back to the first guy, and the first guy goes, no. He goes, you need 8, and he said, because I guarantee that the house is moving. And the other guy said, well, how do you know that? You'd have to put a laser level on it and then come back in a year and see whether or not it actually moved. So some of the things that they say, it's kind of ridiculous just to kind of upcharge people.
Think about what can consumers do to protect themselves.
Yeah. Okay. Because really, second opinion, calls, someone who doesn't, even if, it's something when you're real specialized like septic, one of the things that we always recommend is that you have the tank pumped,
right, to inspect it, right.
To inspect it. Too many of these guys are willing to come out and just take a look at it. And then they find out later on they've got a problem with the tank itself, because they didn't pay the $400 to have it pumped out, to have a proper inspection done. That always, is, you got to inspect them the right way, because even if you don't find anything, at least you're buying the house and you've already, you got a cleaned out septic tank, so you probably got 2 to 3 years before you got to deal with it again.
Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, and how many people haven't had their septic inspected with a family of 4 or something in years?
Right.
That could be
problematic. Until it starts bubbling up out of the top of the tank, then. Yeah, that's the thing around here. There's not, that much septic, like some parts of the country where everything's on septic.
Yeah.
We've got a guy in Greensboro, North Carolina area, and he's got about 60% of the houses that he inspects are on septic in Greensboro, North Carolina.
Well,
it's like,
but we ought to be lucky that we don't have sewer lines that need to be inspected as well, because
right.
in some parts.
Well, some parts of the city, you got a lot of mains that are 140 years old. That's a city problem, certainly, but
I sent Chuck a text ready for you. Ready for you, CC. I forgot that it's Chuck Crosby.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Ladies and gentlemen, Chuck Crosby.
CC, please.
So is this? Oh yeah, Mythbuster special. Always start with the lowest offer and buy a home. Greg, there's gonna be stuff in here for you to jump on.
Yeah, just
anymore.
drag me in and drag me across the line today. I'm exhausted. I went to bed at like 3:30
Yeah,
last
told
night.
me.
I think we're all feeling that way today.
Yeah, it's good. It's a good busy, but it's just like, whoo.
Yeah, I was telling Bob I got one of my inspectors has been sick for 2 days.
Ooh.
So trying to cover for him, it's been brutal.
Yeah, no kidding.
Here-
You're at full schedule. Everyone's just full.
Oh, this is Kim.
Losing any traction.
We got Kim coming on the first part of the show. Just FYI.
Oh, now I'm gonna have to be polite.
Yeah, you are. But we're still waiting for Mr. Crosby to come into the show. I'm leaving tomorrow morning, 8:30, flight to Jamaica. Here to Miami to Jamaica.
Good for you.
But
I may have to go back to St. James Court and shoot the exterior.
Why?
My SD card for my drone is crapping out on me. I can't get it to read. I gotta.
Oh,
That's
The
not
problem.
good.
I usually shoot redundancy with my camera. I have 2 memory cards, so if one fails, but with the drone, it's just
got one
hit or
port.
miss. If
Yep.
the card goes bad, card goes bad.
Yep.
Of course, on a big one where I had some really great shots of St.
Yeah.
James Court coming out from downtown on a perfect day.
Try a
I gotta
different
go
computer
back
to
to
see if it will read it differently. You never know.
Casey's got my damn charger for my laptop, so I've got to put a reader in to put it in that one. If not, I'm
Wait,
gonna.
she
put
was
it
here a
in
few minutes ago.
I know she's there with my charger, and then
Oh.
I got the. I'll put the SD card back in the drone after we get off radio. But
Yeah,
I'm
she
gonna be
borrowed
here.
my charger the last time she was here. Don't you
Homegirl's
have enough
she's a
money to
mess.
buy? She needs to buy a new charger. Kim, are you
She
there?
has it. She just forgets it.
Yes, sir.
Can you put yourself on
Hey,
video?
Kim.
Can this is a terrible idea. I think you should call Casey.
No, this Casey. So Kim's joining us
Yeah.
for a few minutes. You'll see as we get into this. And Kim, obviously we don't want to give off a name and round up like 25,000 for we don't want to give away what the house was and all that
Oh
stuff.
my gosh, somebody's out here cutting grass. I came out so no kids would be around.
That's all right. That's
One of my
fine.
neighbors is mowing. Is it
All
too
right.
loud?
No, you're fine.
Round up. You said like 20,000.
Yeah, just go. Yeah, so that we're not giving it too much away. You'll see why, guys. All right, are we ready, Freddie? Everybody, Chuck, you doing good? Audio okay?
Yeah,
Okay.
doing
good.
fine.
All right. Let me get rid of this
I
background.
can't see
beeping.
Kim.
Kim, we were looking for you on video.
Kim doesn't want to be seen.
We want to see Kim. Kim, come on,
Let's see Kim.
come on. But you got to keep quiet because this is radio.
And we're all pretending it's Sunday morning.
That's right. Remember, there we go. There's Kim. All right.
Because I always wear a shirt like this on Sunday morning.
That's right. And so I. So,
Okay.
all right, let's do it. Here we go. News Radio 840 WHAS. Good Sunday morning. Bob Sokoler and the Louisville Real Estate Show here with you to the top of the hour. Great show today. We got a lot of stuff to cover. Let's get right to it. With us here, Chuck Crosby, the Crosby Law Offices at 499-6360. Also, Brad Lawler, owner of Home Team Inspection Service. You can reach them. They come in as a team and they hire veterans. They're the number one home team inspection service in the country now, which is great to know. And you can reach them at 844-411-TEAM. My son, Greg, who does our marketing, photography, and so much more. And also a special guest today, Kim Spratt, one of our great agents, who's going to talk to you about what the buyer market is like. I thought I'd bring Kim in because, quite frankly, it's crazy out there. Good morning to all of you. How everybody doing? Okay?
Doing fine.
Morning. All right, let's get right to it. Just so we start with, if you're a buyer struggling to find a home for sale, you're not alone. For every 10 homes for sale last year, there are fewer than 5 today. So home shoppers this spring have 52% fewer homes to choose from than last year, and they're facing record-breaking prices. That's according to Realtor.com, latest monthly housing trends report. Just for example, this past week we put a home on the market, $775,000. And in one day, 13 showings, 4 offers, one within 2 hours of the home hitting the market. And that's because of Greg's photography. Greg, you did not like this was special. You just did an amazing job with every home. But this one, the buyers, one of the sets of buyers was in Chicago, saw the home go on the market, fell in love with the pictures, according to the agent. And that's when they put their offer in sight unseen. So that goes to show you just how good Greg's photography is. I'm proud of him as a father, but I'm also proud of him as
Well, everybody should be we're unique because obviously I'm your son and it's just, we kind of fell into this, but every good agent should have a good photographer. If you don't, you probably shouldn't be using that agent to list your home in the first place. But
if you want to see the video that Greg did on this home and others, just send me an email, bob@wesellouisville.com, and then put in there, I want to see Greg's video.
Wow, Bob. Okay, I forget we're on 840 WHAS, and this is your demo. But if you also use Instagram or social media, you can go there as well. Just look at the Sokoler team, We Sell Louisville, or Google Greg Sokoler. All of the stuff that we do, we put up online for everyone to see. It's very easy to find.
All right, so moving it forward very quickly. So I told you from a buyer standpoint, it's not Kim Spratt. Kim, you had a buyer coming into town. Explain quickly in a matter of a couple of sentences what happened.
Yeah, they were relocating, sent me 22 houses before they left home. By the time they got here a day and a half later, they had 7 left. They actually found one they loved the first day, and we put an offer in with an escalation clause, $2,000 above the best offer, up to $30,000 above the list price. We left it totally a clean offer. We didn't ask for anything. No kitchen appliances or anything else.
And you also said you do inspections, but you would not ask for repairs. Is that correct?
That's right. And then if the home appraised for less than the sales price, the buyer agreed to make up the difference up to that $30,000 above. So I think that's what really clinched it. They actually had an offer that was $50,000 above, but we won it because we were such a clean offer and we were up against 14 other offers.
I love this for you. And I love the fact that we had a buyer who now can understand how important it is to have an agent who knows what they're doing. I'm telling you folks, it's so important. Kim, thanks for joining us. I'm going to keep going. You can stay on here or you can hang up, and we appreciate you joining us. By the way, and thanks again, kiddo, if you want to see what we're doing recording this and we send this over to YouTube, you can go to LouisvilleAnswers.com. That's LouisvilleAnswers.com. And there you'll see a rebroadcast of our show today. All right, let's move on with some questions. And let's start with guidelines. Chuck, we've got a guy who has a rental and he wants to sell his home, move into the rental. This is Lauren. Sell his home, moves back into the rental, but there's a renter there. And the question he has is, what about these guidelines about getting renters out if they're on a month-to-month basis? He hears they're shifting different ways all the time. Thoughts and concerns on that?
Well, it's not all that difficult. If it's a month to month, you have to give notice that the lease is up, and then that's a 30-day notice. So let's say it's today. I send you a notice that says, hey, you've got 30 days. I'm not going to renew the lease month to month. We're done. So it would be 30 days from now, which is what, May 7th?
Whatever. Yeah, whatever.
Right. So June is when you can begin an eviction because the lease is up and they're not gone. Now that's as opposed to for non-payment. If there's non-payment, then there's other hoops you have to jump through. But
so, wait, are you saying that it would be better for the renter not to pay? And then
no.
Longer period of time to go. Is that where I'm interpreting what you're saying?
Not quite.
Okay.
The wheels grind slowly, but now with COVID, there's other hoops you have to jump through. So depending on what time of the month you're talking about, a non-payment issue, generally it just keeps going. A non-payment issue, you have to, get affidavits, you have to make applications to a variety of entities that can catch up those payments. There's just more you have to do.
Okay. All right, we'll take it at that, leave it at that. And we'll give out Chuck's phone number. If you have a rental question or problem specifically, as Chuck says, if he doesn't do it, he knows people who do.
Right.
Or done. Done it. All right, we move on. Done didn't do it. Carter has got a problem. Brad, septic inspection came back with more than $20,000 worth of repairs.
Ooh.
He is upset, doesn't believe that there's a need for these amount of repairs. Thoughts on what he should do as a seller?
Well, I guess that I would start with the point of get a second opinion, a second estimate on that. I don't know. I mean, it sounds like whoever came out to work up the estimate on it is actually the one who will make the repairs. One of the things that's interesting about septic inspections is that, there's only a handful of companies that actually do that type of work in this area anyway. And when they do those inspections, the tanks really need to be pumped clean. It's a little bit more expensive to do it that way. It might cost $400, $500 to have the tank pumped out and cleaned out before they inspect it, but that's the proper way to do it. So I don't know if they took that step, but I would definitely ask for a second opinion, because there can be a wide variety of costs from contractor to contractor, depending on what they find, what's really there, and whether or not they just feel like they've got a captive market. I mean, we see those type of variances in costs a lot in foundation type repairs.
So
that's another big area.
Carter goes on and asks, he says, the guys who did the initial inspection also do the repairs and have offered to make these repairs.
Sure.
A conflict of interest from my standpoint, right?
Well, yeah, maybe, but I think any of these trades, whether it's a plumber, whether it's an electrician, I think, you're always going to run into, qualified contractor that's going to have to give you a price on it. But that's one company's opinion on what the price is to make the repairs, if they're actually necessary. That's why I think a second company that does those type of repairs ought to come out and give them an estimate, or do the inspection and give the estimate on repairs if there really are any to be done.
So let's take this to Chuck now. All right, Chuck, thinking cap on. So inspector number 2 in this scenario comes out and says, no, you don't need this. You don't need that. There's maybe $100 or $1,000 worth of repairs. So does the seller have any legal recourse against inspection company number 1 for either, if he could prove it, falsifying, or does he bring out a state or county official to review both of these reports and make a decision on who's right and who's wrong?
There's not going to be a state or county official that'll come out and arbitrate some sort of assessment by these guys. Nobody's going to do that. I don't see any claim saying, hey, I'm sure he can justify it one way or another. Otherwise, we'd be suing, car repairmen all the time. Oh, hey, we need to fix A, B, and C. Well, maybe B and C don't really need to be fixed. Should they ought to be? Well, maybe. I just don't see any real wiggle room there. If you have a guy come give you an estimate, that's his estimate. He's not, you haven't had any loss. And in court, you can't just, you can get declaratory judgments, but on something like this without damages, no, okay. I wouldn't even entertain that thought for very long.
Carter, hopefully that answers your question on this. I know you're stuck in the middle on it, but at least hopefully you're getting a second opinion and then work things out from there.
What is it? Caveat emptor? What was the...
Well, and it's not even that. If I tell you this is what I think ought to be done, well, that's what I think ought to be done. There's no immutable truth. Now, if I get you to do 20 things and only 2 of them, needed to be done and the others were perfectly fine, well, maybe you might have some kind of jump on that. But that's damages. In the case of an estimate, that's
right. That's not, just get a second opinion.
A second opinion. Yeah. Second opinion. Here's where I see the problem very quickly, and we'll move on. And that is, if one side says one thing and the other side says the other thing, how do you decide? You've got to bring in a third person to be the tiebreaker.
Well, if you're talking in a divorce case, typically that's how it's set up. Wow. Is hey, we're going to appraise this house, and if we can't agree, then we'll either do an average of the 2, or we'll call in a third.
You have a lawyer, and a mediator.
But if you're talking about a contract, and I go out and my inspector says, hey, you ought to have this done, and I get an estimate on it, well, the seller's not in a position where he has to go with that. He can say no. He gets his own advice on it. He says, second opinion comes in, 5,000 less. If I were the seller, I would just say, well, I'll pay up to my guy's estimate. Otherwise, go pound sand.
Let's move forward. We tell you on a regular basis that we're continually looking for homes to list and sell. I can give you a laundry list of some of the things that are going on in the marketplace. For example, we're talking about homes going on the market with multiple offers. So we've trained our agents to try to help buyers do the best job in getting an offer on a house as quickly as possible and getting the house for our buyers' needs. Greg, we've trained our agents on how to deal with multiple offers. Kim mentioned a number of the things that
she was spilling some secret sauce there.
She was, but that's okay.
And again, those are some of the things that every good agent is probably aware of. Again, and I preach this when I talk to on our Instagram page, and I do the stories, is that you need somebody who's knowledgeable in all these areas. If your agent right now in the market, if you're looking for a home, can't speak to certain things, you should be looking for another agent.
Or if you're an agent, join our team, because we're looking to expand, because we've got so much.
No, not just all agents. We want agents that are
good agents, right? I got that. So one of the new things that came up this week, Brad, Chuck, Greg, is this came out in a national publication. Consider a walk and talk inspection. Greg, this is a new one. Buyers who fall hard for a property. What's that?
I said we talked about this in our meeting. I was very critical, very critical.
Buyers who fall hard for a property, love it. They might want to be tempted to waive the home inspection, but Brad will tell people, and it's important that you recite, waiving a home inspection can lead to a lot of problems.
Yep.
Summary of that might be?
Well, I mean, unless they're knowledgeable on all the different systems they're looking at, they could be overlooking significant costs and buying a house that now they've got a large bill that's due for repairs or other problems with the home, which is why you pay, $500-$600 to have a professional licensed inspector. And I know we're talking, to people, not just in Indiana and Kentucky on this show, but in Indiana and in Kentucky, home inspectors are licensed. And because we're licensed, we have to follow a certain set of standards of practice. So a walk and talk, while this national publication, that may work great in Michigan, where you don't have to have an inspector license to work. But here, the requirement for the home inspector is we have to follow a set of two national standards, either the ASHI standards or the INTRNACHI standards. They're nearly identical. There's really no difference between them, but my company follows the ASHI standards, which means as an inspector, I have to do these things as part of the inspection. My insurance company, the people providing me both my general liability coverage as well as my errors and omissions, the big expensive insurance, which not all home inspectors carry, they require me to follow those same standards, and that's why we have to put everything in writing. So the idea of the walk and talk is maybe very appropriate in some places, but here the biggest thing we do is what we call the walkthrough, which is at the end of that inspection, we're actually taking them through the major problems that we find. We kind of educate them to the home, answer questions that they have. But I don't know anyone here that would do a
walk and talk.
And talk. But agents do. Agents
do, but they need to say we're not inspectors. But what we're talking about here is that you would hire Brad. So Chuck, get a load of this. Let's just say that it was a legal issue. We would hire Chuck, or if it's a home issue, of Brad, to walk through the house as we go through different homes and basically doing an eyeball inspection to give you a report on whether the home
Think about this. It's basically just an expedited inspection. If you, it's literally,
but it's not detailed
trying to
enough.
Get a discount on. It's so crazy.
If you're, so it'd be like hiring Chuck, which who knows what that rate would be.
Because they're not busy already. Like they're gonna have a free time slot for you to find a random house in this hot of a market where you just had to leave work to go find a house, and now you're up against 14 people and you want to hire some. It's insane. It's poppycock.
And there's a concern about liability. Who owns it?
True.
You know, it's because you wouldn't be coming with any of the standard, warranties that would come with the home inspection on that
Chuck,
one.
quickly on this.
So wait a minute.
Yeah,
With
go
a
ahead.
walk and talk,
Yeah.
you all started saying walk and talk.
Yeah.
I don't do inspections. I don't know what you mean by walk.
You're just walking with Brad or an inspector through the house
Instead of
you're
a
seeing it
typical
for the first
scheduled
time.
inspection.
Yeah, you're
That,
going
that
to a
seems
house.
like
Yeah.
that seems like a really bad idea.
Well, I'm just telling you, this is
Terrible
what
idea.
was purported in one of the trades to do to help get at your buyer of the house, forego an inspection, but have an inspector go with you to look at homes.
Oh, okay. See, that's where you lose me.
All right,
there.
yeah, I know.
The whole foregoing an actual inspection
Yeah.
to deal with this somewhat junior inspection, that's a liability nightmare.
Not even a junior.
Chuck,
Yeah.
it's like it's like taking your father-in-law to go do the home inspection for you.
I mean, and yet you'd be responsible. Oh no.
Right.
In Kentucky, if you go through and you give an opinion on, well, Bob, if you walk in the house with them and you say, hey, this looks like a good house, you're being held to the standard of a home inspector doing a proper inspection.
Yeah.
It'd be the same thing. You're not going to do a proper inspection, but you're going to be held to the liability of having. No, bad idea.
Bad idea. All right, we're going to take a break. We'll come back. Coming up, some Mythbuster special, 5 myths to buying and selling a home that need to be trashed with us. And by the way, if you want to see this show, go to LouisvilleAnswers.com. It'll redirect you to rebroadcast on YouTube of the show. Also, if you want to see what people are saying about us, go to LouisvilleZillow.com. If you want to watch what people say about us during an interview, go to LouisvilleSellersTalk.com. With us, we've got Chuck Crosby, the Crosby Law Offices at 499-6360. Brad Lawler, owner of Home Team Inspection Service at 844-411-TEAM. My son Greg, who does our marketing, photography, and so much more. And you can reach me anytime, Bob Sokoler, at 376-5483. We're back in a moment on News Radio 840 WHAS. News Radio 840 WHAS, the Louisville Real Estate Show, here with you till the top of the hour. Brad Lawler, owner of Home Team Inspection Service, is also with us, 844-411-TEAM. Chuck Crosby, the Crosby Law Offices, does a great job getting your loan closed, but he's also entertaining, and you feel like an hour or less goes by so quickly. 499-6360. My son Greg, who does all of our marketing and photography and so much more, and does a great job. And Bob Sokoler here. You can reach me anytime at 376-5483. My thanks to Barbara Cochran, who's a mentor, friend, and one of the stars of Shark Tank, and certainly a great person. All right, our Mythbuster special, 5 common misconceptions. You ready, folks? Here we go. It's better to get pre-approved after you find the perfect home to buy. Wrong. Yep. You got to get pre-approved before. Always start with your lowest offer when buying a home. You should. Yeah, there you go. Each one.
Was this from last year?
No, this is the 2021 version. So,
oh man,
yeah, this market, you're lucky if you're going to pay list. Some people say list is your starting point, and it goes up from there. It's better to price your house on the high side when you're selling, not necessarily because you get multiple offers. I would say still price it where the comps show it, and then let it go from there, as heavy as people are right now, just bidding over each other. Renovating your house will definitely net you more money when you sell. Not necessarily. No. In fact, we've got a show coming up, 12 upgrades that will make your home more valuable. I believe that is coming up.
None of them better be dealing with
weeks.
lumber.
None of them, lumber's out of control price-wise. And then it's safe to skip the home inspection if the house looks good. We've already pretty much covered that this show. So just letting you, those are the Mythbuster items that you should not be believing. Mythbuster. All right, we move on. Luke, and again, we're doing COVID shows. We're recording this rebroadcast on YouTube as well. You can go to LouisvilleAnswers.com if you'd like to replay this show and its video. Luke's purchased a home East End, Louisville, finished moving in 2 weeks ago. And we're, by the way, taking these in the form of emails as opposed to phone calls because limited on production value, but we can get your emails. Bob at WeSellLouisville.com, put a question in there and I'll get it on the air. So he says, neighbors came over to introduce themselves. We've seen this before. And they asked if they knew that the house he had just moved into had been featured on a TV show about paranormal activity. Luke says his jaw dropped.
The old stigmatized property.
Yeah, now that
Yeah.
there's nothing that says that has to be disclosed, as I remember. We
Nope.
talked about this a couple of years ago.
Not in Kentucky.
Not in Kentucky.
Nope. Yeah. Is it anywhere? Not aware of anywhere.
No, I don't remember it anywhere. The disclosure asks you a variety of questions with regarding condition, house, roof, the HVAC, water heater. They've added ages to the HVAC now to the disclosure, but certainly not if the house is haunted or if it's been visited by UFOs, things like that. One other thing that does come up occasionally is if someone's died in the home. And it's not on the disclosure, yet there are some people who are concerned about that and will ask, Chuck, what's the regulation if a buyer asks their agent to find out if someone's passed away in the home, and an agent calls the listing agent calls the seller, what's the repercussions of
If
not
the
disclosing?
seller says, don't tell them anything, well, that's your agent. And then they have to reply that the seller told me not to say anything.
Yeah.
Which obviously is saying something.
Well, do you
Also, if you tell something that's not true, if you say, oh, no, nobody
No,
died here,
no.
and then you find out they did, well, then that's misrepresentation.
Well-
You're not required to disclose it.
but
I think on one of the study
Yeah.
guides I looked for the broker's test was talking about, you can mention, is that something you could search on the internet as a rebut? So you're not saying the seller told me not, but you're just responding. Is that something you could find out by looking on the internet?
Probably not.
yeah,
I mean,
and I'm
Not that you could, but
Are you
Yeah.
revealing by saying the seller said asked me not to reveal? Are you revealing too much just by saying it? Is there another way to rephrase that? I mean,
well, what
the
are
seller
we
doesn't
talking about here?
know?
Is this a known? That's what I'm saying. Is this a known case, like a high profile case?
No,
that you
I
could
don't
search on the
know.
internet,
I'm
or
just
is
simply
this
saying
something like
it's asked a lot. I mean, it's more than you
someone
think.
passed away here,
Yeah.
and there was a bed in here that there was hospice care. In who's asking that? I
Yeah.
mean, sorry, it's a
And-
private family matter. Thank
Well, I
you.
mean, if let's take Melignado. You want to find out, was this the Melignado house? Yeah, it's easy to find out on the internet.
that's my point of search.
Yeah, it's easy to find out. But if somebody shot themselves, and it was your everyday run of the mill suicide, you're not going to be able to find that, I don't think.
Well, and that's my question, is like the buyer's tip. Is this just a buyer who's going in every home and is like, if somebody die here, like I need to know if somebody which is so random or
but-
rare? Or is it like, oh, I remember there was a high profile case of
Yeah.
whatever here.
Well,
Well, and see,
but
that's where you can get into a little bit of trouble. The cases up in New York, obviously, the Amityville horror type things.
Yeah.
The judge in the one case, it was, hey, our house is haunted. We want the sale set aside and all of our money returned. Well, the judge didn't say, yeah, the house is haunted, but the prior sellers had actually put the house on different shows like that, and then specifically said, oh no, there's nothing wrong with this house, and the judge came back with a misrepresentation, not that it was haunted, but that it had a bad reputation that affected the market value, yada yada yada.
Okay.
So I mean, you can run into a little trouble if you're talking about it. If you say, you aren't necessarily required to say anything, but if you do say something, you have to tell the truth.
Got it. And
And-
it
and
always
then-
pays. Yeah. Go ahead.
What about for those cultures where it's very important that
That is a good point.
Yep.
And if you knew about it and you told your agent, don't tell them anything about it, then that's all the agent can do.
Mhm.
But if you do say, no, there wasn't, and there actually was, that could be really a big misrepresentation right there. So again, don't lie ever. But if you don't know, how can you respond with what you don't know?
And just following this up, if you lie to the buyer's agent and it goes back to the buyer and they find out you lied, this
Oh.
is a major problem for you. You could end up buying that house back as the agent. I think.
absolutely.
Yeah. All right.
Absolutely.
We got time for one final question. Brad Brad is writing in. I'm really concerned about buying a home and then having to pay out for a new roof on the house in a couple of years. He's looking for tips and tricks to figure out if the roof is near the end of its life. Short of, he should maybe have called in a roof inspector, right?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the roofers around town will come out and do free estimates, so you could go that route. But you mean the quick things to look for, just go to the bottom of the downspouts, look in the splash block, see if there's a lot of granules. You can look up on the roof and see if you've got tabs that are missing. You've got wavy edges. You got curling. Or, you can see that the granules have fallen off. Those are all going to be visual indications that the roof is probably nearing the end of its useful life.
Got it. All right, we are out of time. I think that pretty much answers that question for Brad. Our thanks to Chuck Crosby, the Crosby Law Offices at 499-6360. He does a really great job, folks, on closings. If you can pick the attorney you want to close your loan, and he does such a great job and makes it fun and entertaining and takes any stress out of it. So Chuck's the guy if you're looking for a closing attorney. Brad Lawler, owner of Home Team Inspection Service. The folks come in as a team, and they do a great job. The hire veterans that are number one home team inspection service in the country. 844-411-TEAM. And my son, Greg, who I'm so proud of, does our photography and marketing and so much more. Thank you all for being here. We've got a Victorian house coming up in old Louisville that is coming on the market. That's spectacular. Look for that on the feeds if you're watching or looking for a home in St. James Court. That's coming up this week. If you want to reach me,
rare, real nice,
beautiful. And the third floor is unbelievable, by the way. Oh, look, my phone's already weak. You got to wait until after I get off the air until we start taking phone calls. Sorry about that. And you can reach me anytime on my cell phone, 376-5483. That direct number, 376-5483. We are out of time. See you next Sunday right here on News Radio 840 WHAS. Okay, almost got out of there without the phone. And I put it to airplane mode, but it's coming in over Wi-Fi, so I'm not sure.
Hey, where is this property on St. James? Is it one of the big houses or one of the smaller?
Yeah, it's one of the big. No, it's going to go on for 800 and change or something, right around in there.
Let me see.
850.
And shoot me an email with it.
Okay. And just so you know, Greg's holding it up there. See if you can see this.
Oh yeah.
Oh, is that the corner?
That's the front of it.
No. I mean the corner of St. James and
no. It's in a little bit towards in the court.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it is, Greg. Can you just forward that to Chuck? It's a large file. Yeah. It's the thing is, it's been renovated. The third floor, it's an elevator in there. The third floor, they redid the whole thing. The shower takes up what used to be a room, or I don't know what it was, but
it's the nicest owner's suite. Like it's a different style. It definitely fits the house. It's kind of got that old. It's like the yellows and the greens, but it's gorgeous. I mean, it's done to the T. And then the elevator is awesome because it's got the exterior entrance elevator that you can get from the outside and take that in and then pull stuff straight up. It's a really well thought out house.
And one of the cool things is, you didn't see this, Greg, but and I didn't see it because I didn't go in it and go up, but there's a glass window on the outside of the part of the elevator, or maybe that's part of the glass. Anyway, when you go up,
there's artwork
on the elevator shaft. So that's as you're going up, you're seeing the artwork. It's very cool. Yeah.
No kidding.
I'll try to remember. When do you think you'll have those pictures done?
I just got to them, and it's gonna be a minute. It's gonna be like 2 days because I shot with flash. So I
think about it. Shoot me an email.
Shoot an email. Okay. But yeah, if as soon as I get something going on it, I'll get you some info on it. But I have a picture. In fact, I'll send you a picture. I was so thrilled to get this listing. We were up against.
I had a really good picture of a front that I took.
So thrilled that I went ahead and took a front shot of this house, and I said, "This is just." I'm sending this to you now, Chuck. It is. Again, the front is just a little bit over just a tease of what's going on. And then it has a carriage house in the back, which has a theater room on the second floor, 2-car garage, newer rebuilt. So anyway, you should have it there.
Oh, hey, and Brad,
Yes, sir.
when having my ducts cleaned, is it a good idea to get that spray of botanicals or whatever it is they do with?
It won't hurt anything. I
Does
don't
it?
know that that's I know the house. I've only seen it from outside. That's a gorgeous house.
Yeah. Yeah.
Chuck, I can't tell you that it's gonna help. Now, are they saying this is the one with the essential oils that is an anti-fungus?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've heard of it. I don't know what the staying power of that stuff is, but
Yeah.
I've heard about the product. I think it'll make it smell good and probably help you sleep better at night for a little while.
For a little while.
Yeah.
All
right, guys.
Like a log.
My love to all of you. I'll see you in a
All right.
couple of weeks, and I'll send you some pics from Jamaica.
Yeah, there you go.
We're
Enjoy.
Going to Jamaica?
We're going tomorrow. We're flying down, Michelle and I, to we've got 2 different places.
Montego. Are you going to Montego Bay and Negril?
Yeah. No, not Montego Bay. We're doing Sandals, but we're also doing another one, all inclusive, like a Hyatt for the next 3 days, and then we go over to Sandals on Sunday. So
Cool.
yep. All right, gang.
Enjoy.
Take care.
We'll see ya.
See you
See y'all.
soon. Okay. Bye.